Because when we got married, I was like, hold up. We are arguing. Something is wrong. Or maybe I have to treat her with respect, or I have to treat her like Christ loves the church.
At one point, I didn't want to be a parent. But
Really? Because I think a lot of us, especially coming from like Caribbean, African, Latino families, we already know like the communication is poor. Feeling pretty good. How about you?
Feeling good.
I think a lot has been on my mind now.
Think so? Think it's time for a conversation. We sit down and talk about something.
Yeah, do it.
What's been on your mind lately?
I mean, I just feel like the reality of being a first-time parent is coming. Like, I'm already 6 months, and we both never experienced this before, so it's just, I don't know, it's just a new experience, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just worried about being a parent, being a mother.
Everyone has different experiences when it comes to becoming a parent or being a parent. So, I mean, we can go into a little bit of detail. How do you think it's different for, like, experience-wise, between having a boy and a girl? Like, what do you think?
Well, me personally, I always thought I was gonna have a girl. So I always just thought I would raise a girl like me, but it's totally different now because it's like, there's a certain responsibility, you know? Now there's just a certain responsibility that you have to have as my husband, you know? So it's like, I'm not taking all that responsibility as, oh, I gotta grow her into a woman. Now it's like, you gotta grow him into a man, and I have to sometimes probably just have to relax back and trust that process, you know? I think that's gonna be hard. It's seeing you trying to mold him as a man, and just me having that nurturing side to me, and being like, you know, so how about you? What do you think is the difference?
I agree to that. I agree to everything you just said. I'm just thinking, like, you know, I'm glad that I'm having a boy first, but if I was having a girl, I think my persona would change completely, because at that point it would be like, you know, I become more gentle. I become softer with my feelings. I become emotionally more open to things, right? I'm not saying that I'm not going to be emotionally open with a boy. You know, I have to be more gentle with my words when it comes to a girl instead of a boy. You know, but I'm happy having a boy first. Little ruffle in the feathers. You know what I'm saying?
No,
imagine. A little rustle and tussle.
Imagine having a girl that's just like me, same attitude.
That would be a problem.
There were some things that I was thinking about as well. Like, just the fact that our parents weren't married, you know, having us.
That's true.
So it's just different. It's a different dynamic. Us being married and kind of breaking that generational curse is totally different. So do you think he will have an effect on being in a household with two parents that are married compared to just like a one-parent household? Like, what do you think you look at from that, like the effects?
Since our parents wasn't married, I think our son will look at our marriage as an example, and he'll go out to different relationships and
not different relationships.
not different relationships, but in his relationship, he will have that prime example of what a good marriage looks like. So he'll treat his woman as is.
I like that. I think the problem with a lot of men in this generation is that they don't have that example. You know, seeing how their fathers treat their, you know, their moms. So I think with him seeing our dynamic, it'll be good because it's like he'll go into relationships thinking, oh shoot, maybe I can't just talk to her like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Or maybe I have to treat her with respect, or I have to treat her like Christ loves the church. You know, the same way my husband, or the same way my father loves my mom, like Christ loves the church. I have to model that too. So then he's gonna have those, you know, those ideologies going into other relationships. It's not just gonna be a bump.
Going deeper into our son's relationships, right? So this is coming back into our relationship in a way. Do you think that we should keep our arguing away from him, or should we show him the arguing? Because me personally, I feel as if he should be shown everything in a controlled manner, right? So he knows how to treat a woman. So he knows the standard of a woman, of how a woman should treat him.
Period.
Right? So I think
because it definitely goes both ways.
It definitely goes both ways. It's not just one person, right?
Yeah.
You can't just hit me and expect, oh, okay, well,
Bing!
I'll just listen to you.
Yeah.
You know? So what do you think?
I honestly feel like previously, before being married, I always thought it was negative to see like parents argue. But I think that changed my perspective on marriage as well. Because when we got married, I was like, hold up, we are arguing, something is wrong. But I think if I would have seen that initially, I would have been like, okay, that's normal. You know, just seeing the good things all the time is not realistic for him. You know, I think he's gonna go into relationships. If we always keep our arguments to ourselves and disagreements, I should say, he's gonna be like, oh, they're perfect. They're literally like glass. So then when he goes into relationships, he's gonna think that that woman should be perfect, or she shouldn't have, you know, disagreements or certain things that she disagrees with him on. So then, you know, it's just not gonna work. I think it's healthy. It's a healthy balance. And it also,
they should be controlled.
yes, and it also depends on how we talk to each other, because he's gonna pay attention to that. I think he's not only looking at like what we're saying, but he's also listening to the tonality. He's listening to, you know.
He's listening to me. He's listening to you.
Yeah.
He's listening to how you ask me things. He's listening to how you perceive things. He's listening to all these different things that we're not aware of until
Our
we're
body
in the
language.
heat of the moment.
Yeah. So then he's gonna take that. He's gonna internalize that, and then he's gonna use it as a weapon when he's in a relationship. And I don't want that for him.
What do y'all think?
Yeah, literally.
Do y'all think that arguing in front of your kids is okay? What about the negative effects that it has on a child if you do it the wrong way? Because when you're in the heat of the moment, you're not thinking of those things, right? You're not thinking of how's my child gonna perceive this?
How am I acting?
You know what I'm saying? So, and it also comes into play when he just came back from work, right? You just came back from work, your hubby or your wife or, you know, you're just not feeling their vibe. Like, fix your energy, like, what's up?
And then that also ties in with healthy communication. Like, what do you guys see as healthy communication in a marriage for children to see? Because I think a lot of us, especially coming from like Caribbean, African, Latino families, we already know like the communication is poor.
It is.
Especially in minority groups. At least I'm sure we both can say we're not used to seeing a healthy example in every household. You know, every household is different, but we're used to seeing like the yelling, the screaming when you're angry, and that's just how we grew up, you know. So then we internalize that, and comment down below if some of you guys relate as well. You internalize that, and then you start acting like that, and then you look back like, dang, why am I acting like that? You know.
Now there's a difference in certain races of families, right? When it's interracial arguing versus the same race, it could be a little different. But we don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Comment down below. Tell us what y'all think is okay. And for each of these questions that you hear us ask, please comment down below answering yourself and tell us if you feel like we're wrong or if you feel the same way.
Yeah.
So, looking at your kids and looking at the way you act and looking at the way I act, how do you think your kids will look at you?
I mean, I think the fair answer to say is we can shape the way our kids look at us. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure there's personality traits that our parents have or that we have that we don't want our kids to see, you know, or we have to work on those personality traits. But what I would say is I would want my kid to look, or our kid to look at us like, or me specifically, like he can come to me for anything. Because I don't ever want him, especially as a boy, man, you know, growing up into that, I don't ever want him to think that he can't communicate his feelings. I don't ever want him to feel like, oh, you know, because of my gender, because I'm a boy, I can't, you know, express my feelings, or I can't have feelings, I have to internalize them. I just always want him to see me as someone he can talk to, but not someone he sees as a friend, because I'm not your friend. I'm your mother. So it's like that perfect balance where it's respect, discipline, love, but also that space where he feels open. You know. How about you? How would you want your son to see you? Or our son?
I want our son to look at me as the person he can come to as well when it's something serious.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it's something not serious, I want him to come to me and tell me these things so I can try to correlate with them.
Yeah.
Right?
Like relate to them.
Like, for example, you know, mom's not listening to me.
Mm-hmm.
She's not listening to what I'm saying. She's saying she understands, but she really doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know, you want to go talk to mom together.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like you're going to be in trouble, you're not. Because if mom can't understand you, I'm willing to try to step in to help her understand you. Not to make her feel like you can't go to her. That's not how we want to make her feel. We want to make her feel like she's in everything that you do. But yeah, I want my kids to look at me as someone they can come to every time they need to talk to someone. Or someone that they just have fun with. Like,
yeah, like it's not
always that serious.
It's not always strict, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree.
Yeah, let's go outside and play and
yeah.
You know, let's do something, let's read or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just how I want my kids to look at me.
Oh, okay. Actually, you said something that made me think. Do you think it's okay for a kid to come in between marriages? Because I see this trend, and you guys comment down below as well what you think. Who comes first, right? Say for example, our son is having a disagreement with you, and he tries to come to me with that same question or disagreement. Do you think it's safe for us both to have our own opinions on what he's saying and not come together, or come together first and then give him an answer as a unit? Because I feel like a lot of kids
I think it's okay to have disagreements with your kid. I think it's more than okay to have a disagreement with your kid. Because if your kid don't agree with one parent, the other parent might have a different opinion. And that's okay. That's when we all sit down and be like, hey, look, we're the parents, right? And if you don't agree, you know what I'm saying, then you got some thinking to do.
But do you think it's safe to sit down with him and watch him have that conversation with each other, or us go in private?
That opens up emotions. That opens up, if we let our kid have disagreements with us, that opens up a healthy relationship. Because at that point, he's not afraid to express whether he feels like we're wrong. And if he can justify that we're wrong and we actually can see that point, then we can change it.
That's interesting.
Now, if we start making him feel scared to tell us that we're wrong, he's not going to tell anybody that they're wrong.
That's interesting. I just don't want him to. I agree. I think it's a healthy.
If you see something wrong, fix it.
Yeah, there's healthy disagreement. But I also think a lot of kids cause a lot of strife in relationships because they think they come first. Is what I'm saying. Like,
no, they don't.
Right.
Me and you come first before they come.
Right.
Now, after me and you get our agreement together, then they can come and put their 2 cents into it.
That's what I'm saying. I want it to be like, I think, comment down below what you guys think as well. I think having a unit that's not movable in certain aspects is healthy, because at the end of the day, us being parents, especially Christian parents, there's certain things that we have, like our mindset, our standpoints, our viewpoints, our morals, that we want him to be raised on. You get what I'm saying? And there's no problem with, as he grows up as a man, if he decides to deter from away from those viewpoints, I have no problem with that, because I know that we try our best, you know, to raise him. But at the same time, I don't want him to think that he has complete control over everything.
Y'all, make sure y'all comment down below for these questions, right? These questions are not just, these questions are questions that people think of every single day when they're having a kid. How am I going to raise my kid? What am I going to do when he does this? What am I going to do when he does that? Going deeper into that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you look at for motivation as a parent for raising your kids?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say my mom. I think that's like a cliche answer, but I really do say my mom. Just seeing her raise me and my sister by herself, pretty much, it put like this resilience within me to know that it's okay to struggle and have kids. Not saying that, you know, we're in that type of position, but I've seen it. You know, I've seen it where it can go from like in a crazy situation where you have 2 girls and you may not be in the best position of your life, but you're trying. You know, like I've never felt, even with her trying, working 2+ jobs, I never really felt like that resentment, and I never felt like left behind. Like she always put in the effort. I may not have seen it when I was younger, like how tired she was, but now looking back, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good mother.
It's a great mother.
That's a great mother. How about you?
I look at your mom for motivation as well.
Shout out to mommy.
Shout out to mom. The way she raised you and the way she taught you the things from you growing from a girl to a woman is very inspirational to me, and it opens up my eyes as a father on what I can do as a parent, right? Because it's not just, she gives you that motherly, she has that motherly role, but you got to think about it. Sometimes as a single parent, she also has that fatherly role, so she knows what she's doing in both ends. Not completely, but she knows. So shout out to mom. Keep doing your thing.
We love you, mama.
Who do y'all look for motivation to raise your kids?
Yeah.
Let us know. And don't be afraid to comment these paragraphs, right? Because we're gonna go back and read all these, and then if y'all have more questions that y'all want to ask us, that can be for another video, and we can answer y'all questions.
Girl, this is a community.
Yeah. Eventually, we can build a Discord or whatever it is, so we can all chat together.
No, that'd be fire. Serious question. And I want you to be, somebody like me, I want you to be completely honest. Like, what made you want to be a parent? If you didn't want to be a parent, what made you want to be a parent?
I feel like at one point I didn't want to be a parent. But really, now that I'm getting older, I want to be a parent. Because I want to be the dad that every kid has always dreamed of.
I love that.
Right. The dad that always has that perfect balance of discipline, when it's time to have fun, when it's not time to have fun. Just everything in general, a balance. We can talk, we can chat, whatever. I want to be that dad. I want to be that person. I want to be that person where even my kids' friends come to me to talk.
Yeah.
What's good, Dad?
So you don't only want to be a parent to your kid, but also a father to others.
Not in a intrusive way.
No, I see what you're saying.
Just in a balanced, healthy way. Let me not get into my bad analogies, but
child, not the analogies.
Like global warming, right?
Absolutely. No, sir.
Global warming isn't healthy, right? Or is it? See what I'm saying?
Right.
That's when it starts to get complex.
That's a whole other conversation.
That's when it starts to get complex. But
jeez.
Hey, not everyone's gonna agree with me. Is global warming real? Is it?
Parenthood is real.
Parenthood is real.
So you can't really compare that.
It's like saying the earth is flat.
Alright, these can...
I'm just saying.
Next question.
Yo, comment down below if you think my analogies are bad. Let me know.
And be honest. Don't just be saying, yeah, they're good, they're good. Like, he just referred to parenting as global warming.
It is.
Is that like a warning to tell people don't?
No.
You know, global warming, they're telling people not to have kids.
No, global warming. Think about it like this, right? When the ice melts.
Babe, we get your analogy.
When the ice melts, right?
Get it.
Think about it. If I'm being intrusive, that means I'm melting the ice and I'm raising the water levels. Alright? Intensity is starting to come. I want to have that balance where it really doesn't melt, but it melts.
Child, I'm lost. Me personally, I always knew I wanted to be a mom. Like, if I was to leave this earth with one accomplishment, it would be to be a mother. Because I always felt like, I always had like that mothering room. Like, even within like friend groups or amongst like family, I was always that person that wants to nurture kids. I've always been around kids, wanted to love kids. I just seen the importance in it, you know? So yeah, I've always had that feeling of, I know that I'm meant to be a mother, but I think I also had a fear of who I was going to be in a relationship with. Just because as a young girl, you know, ladies, if you look back at your past, you're like, why did I date them? Or why was I in this situation? So in that moment, I wanted to be a mother, but I just felt afraid to give someone that, to share that responsibility with someone who wasn't ready, you know, mentally, or they weren't mature, or they weren't nurturing in that sense. But I think once we got married, or once we started dating, I was like, all right, you have 2 younger brothers. I seen the way you were with them, like the way you were nurturing to them, even as a man. I was like, okay, so it is possible to have, you know, someone else that loves kids just as much as me, you know? So once I seen that, and I felt comfortable, like, knowing that we would be okay, having you as a father to them, and having you as a husband to me, I was like, oh, we're straight.
That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah.
I love that. Hey, comment down below. Let us know what y'all think.
So,
You know, what made you want to be a parent?
if you are a parent, like,
Or if you're thinking about not being one, what makes you not want to be one?
it's true.
Alright? Never the perfect time. Just gotta do it.
And it's okay to not want kids.
Yeah, it's okay too. Hey, we're not judging anybody here. We're just giving our opinion.
I don't want anyone to think, like you have to have kids. We are in a society though, I'm not gonna lie, we are in a society where people kind of down, like people that are pregnant. Because I remember I told someone I was pregnant. Side story. I told someone I was pregnant, right? I was at work. Mind you, I used to be a CNA. I told her I was pregnant, I couldn't do too much, and she kind of felt bad for me. And I was like, why are you feeling bad for me? Like, if only you knew, there's a lot of people that struggle with, you know, fertility. There's a lot of people that are trying that can't have kids. So for us, that was great that we were pregnant. You know, that's something that we wanted. But to her, it was like a burden, and that made me feel like, whoa, like, I literally told her, I'm like, I'm not upset about being pregnant. She was like, oh, okay. But it's just that initial negative, you know, like that negativity with connected to pregnancy, like your life is over. I was like, girl, I rebuke you.
She needs to
to go
fix herself.
to church or some holy water or something. Do you have any other thoughts on parenting or being a new father or anything?
I think parenting, listen up y'all. This is gonna be advice for all of y'all. I know my first kid is still in it. Okay? But listen, parenting is gonna be scary no matter what or how you're living. Whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're middle class, whether you're low class, it doesn't matter. Parenting is always going to be hard because guess what? There's more than money. You emotional, there's physical. You gotta make sure that baby grows healthy. Right? There's spiritually. You gotta make sure that some people don't believe in Jesus. That's completely okay. That's up to you. Mm-hmm. But you have to make sure that they're balanced in every single one of those.
And in this house, we're gonna serve the Lord. So
In this house, we will serve the Lord.
Period.
If you take anything from what I'm saying, is don't be afraid to make a mistake as a parent. Okay? It's okay.
Yes, you're good.
You know? It's okay. You make a mistake, you fix it next time. Right? Your kid gets in trouble, you make a mistake that time, how you handle it the way you would have handled it, handled it the first time, the second time. You know?
Yeah.
It's okay.
That was a big fear of mine too, not gonna lie. Cause you know how I am, I'm a perfectionist. If I don't, certain things aren't going the way that I expected, if I'm like, everything needs to be written down, if it doesn't go that way, then everything failed. So I just know that's gonna be a struggle of mine, going into parenthood. Like making a mistake, cause I can make mistakes for myself and have that guilt, you know what I'm saying? But now, if I make a mistake, it's not only on my hands, but it's also, like I have his blood on my hands if I make a mistake. That's one of my biggest fears. That's something I think I will still struggle with. Comment down below if there's something you still struggle with, you know, being a parent or, you know, you're expecting. How about you? Is there something that you're, like you know that you might struggle with just because you know how you work?
Probably emotions. Alright. Dealing with those emotions, dealing with if you like someone, or those type of emotions where you get a little deeper. It's hard for me to try not to laugh because my laughing is my comfort. So, you know, I won't be laughing at you. It's nothing against no one. It's just me.
This man will laugh at a funeral because he's uncomfortable.
A funeral isn't that funny, but
no, I see what you're saying.
Disregard that, okay? Because whatever I just said is gonna sound wrong to a lot of you. It's not that funny.
No,
it's not funny at all. It's just.
I see what you're saying. You do it because you're uncomfortable, probably.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, and that's okay. Speaking of uncomfortability, there will be another video coming up, you guys, where we talk about emotional vulnerability, emotional intelligence, marriage, being married young, going through the emotions, being honest with each other. That will be a conversation that we talk about as well. So if you guys have any questions for that video, just let us know. Comment down below and we'll answer them.
Comment down below. Make sure you like, comment,
subscribe.
Like I just said, sometimes you gotta be a scavenge for some knowledge. So.
Not a scavenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, we just want to open conversation up to one, uncomfortable conversations and things that people aren't really talking about or being honest about, because these things need to be heard. I think parenthood is glamorized, and it's okay to be scared. You know, it's okay to be not. Yeah, it's more than okay. It's okay to not be ready. It's okay to be angry about some aspects of being a parent. You may not be financially ready, mentally ready, spiritually ready, but that's why we open these conversations up so you feel comfortable, you know? So, like the hubby said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more videos.
We'll see y'all next time.
We'll see y'all. Stay tuned.